All
Was
right.
that the solution?
All right. Good afternoon, guys. Happy Monday. First of all, I just want to congratulate everyone on our biggest week yet. I know it's really only our second week, but we did 37,000 last week. So big round of applause for everybody. Going forward, I will start spotlighting agents and everything like that. We'll do a leaderboard and everything, but I just want to make sure everyone was set up before we started doing that. I'm going to try to be short today so we can kind of get to work. I know with the holiday, it could end up being a short week for some people. So I really want to get out there. Just one little note. Um, Please be sure to post your sales in Families Protected. And what I want to start doing instead of calling it IP, because a lot of times they're not issued yet, I want to call it AP, annualized premium, just so I can track stuff. So what I do is I write that stuff down, and daily I'll go in and check on your cases, see if they need underwriting, if you need to call, stuff like that. And if I don't see a sale posted, I don't know to look for it. So let's just make sure we are doing that. So tonight from 6 to 9, there's a very good business opportunity meeting or overview meeting that they do every Monday night. Generally, I would rather be dialing during that time. For me, it's my most productive time. But there are two people that are going to be on that call who are very impressive that came from American Income. If you can't do 6 to 9, try to at least be on during the 7 to 8 block, because that's where they do questions and stuff like that. Because I want to talk about it. How many people were on the 1 p.m. bulletin? Raise your hand. Bullpen. Okay, if you weren't on it, you missed some really, really good stuff. So Hayden and Nina were at American Income until 2018, I believe, or it was 2018. She was the top producer. She was an MGA, and she was only making $36,000 a year. Family First tried to recruit her. She wouldn't do it. Finally, in 2019, they came over. She now makes 7 figures. 36K to 7 figures. They have one of the biggest agencies in America, in Family First. So we got to ask some questions today, but they're going to kind of do this all over again and give you a lot more opportunity tonight. So this is one I would sacrifice call time and producing time to learn, because they literally know where we are right now, where we've been, and we can find out what things they're doing and not doing to be so successful. Because they literally have the same exact training as we do. So I think this is one you should be on. I just want to go over some things I heard from them that really stuck out to me. First thing is, most of their agents are making $1,000 a day, right? So they're obviously using dollars. Second thing is, and I say this all the time, but they literally made a point of this. If you want to get better, you should be on Zoom with your camera on, unmuting when you're talking. Now, this wasn't me saying this. They came when Mark asked them, "What advice do you have?" They go, "The people who want to do better should be on Zoom with their camera on and unmute when they speak." We've kind of talked about this the last 2 weeks. And, I'm seeing some improvement, but I'm seeing a lot of people just afraid to unmute, or some people just don't want to be on Zoom. And that's great. You can do that. But you will learn a lot more and you will get a lot better doing these things. Right. And I just heard it independently from them. And that's really what they said. Another thing is get licensed in more states. If you work in one state, it's not really working, or there's not a lot of leads, you can move over to another one. I know Pedro talked about this last week, but it's something they really professed. Like for me, I'm going to spend 3 hours on that call tonight. My plan now is I'm going to call my California leads from 9 to 12 o'clock, right? Because I can, because of the time zone game. So, and the other big thing, and this isn't just with them, this is with everyone we've talked to, it's getting leads twice a week. They say the people who do well are the people getting more leads, right? Buying leads on Sundays and Wednesday, right? You heard, if you were on it, you heard Hayden say, he was doing okay, making 8 to 12 grand a month, buying 300 or 400 leads a week, or $300 to $400 a week. You ramped it up to $1,500 a week, and now he's making 20 to 30,000 a month, right? So the more leads you have, the better you are going to do. How many people purchased leads last night? like 4, 5, 6 of you. I saw James Weaver on here. He just got his first sale. And James, that was an instant beneficiary lead you bought yesterday. There you go. Guys, if
Great job, James.
if you were still working the leads you got 2-3 weeks ago, I would rather you go work at Walmart. I think you'll make more money doing that. Right? It's, I want you to do well. And we started you guys off. Obviously, we can't continue to buy the leads with the contracts we have, but that is the biggest common denominator I'm seeing, is that people are spending $500 to $1,000 a week on leads. Now, if you don't have that, what's something you can do? Go find low-hanging fruit, man. Go find a family member, whatever, and take that money and invest it into leads. Because it seems like this snowball keeps getting bigger the more and more they invest. Right? If you're making $10,000 a week, do you mind putting $1,500 into leads? No. You just need to do it once. I think I could see where a lot of you are, where you don't want to invest in it because you're afraid you'll waste your money, right? But I can tell you from everyone I've talked to and what I'm seeing in here, look, James just did it. It snowballs, right? Now, let's say you buy $200 worth of leads. Probably not a lot, but you make one sale for $1,000, right? Now, you can spend $500 a lead. Now you're making $2,000, $3,000, and it snowballs and snowballs. Guys, I don't make money when you buy leads. Pedro doesn't make money when you buy leads, but it's going to make you money when you buy leads. It's an investment into your business. So I really, 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 really suggest you do that. The other thing they said is, and because I asked the question at the end of the thing, I said, coming from AIL, and the funny thing is they won't even say the word AIL. They call it the practice company, because that's what happens. And they said the biggest thing is forget your old bad habits. Learn new. Learn what the best people at FFL are doing. Like one of the big things for me, we were always taught to be so chippy and happy when they answer the phone. And they're so against that, right? Act like you make $12 an hour sitting in a basement in Idaho, right? Like act like you hate your job. That way you're not a salesperson to the person. Like that's against everything I've done for the past 5 years. But you know what? It works, right? Follow their scripts. I mean, these guys know what they're doing, right? You saw that thing. They wrote 38 million last month. The biggest month in AIL history is like 32. And they did it in November, which is traditionally one of the bad months for insurance. They know what they're doing. So right now, if you've been at AIL for a certain amount of time, kind of forget everything and learn what they're doing. Right? Do what they're doing because they do it well, right? And I know it's hard, especially for me. I'm a creature of habit. It's hard to break it. So, but I'm going to create a new one doing it their way. At this point, if you've been with us a couple of weeks, I know contractor was a pain in the butt. It sounds like most of you have 3 or 4 carriers, at least at this point. And if you have not made a sale, we got to start asking ourselves why. Right? And it's okay. I'm not mad about it. I'm just looking out for you. Why? So what I want you to do if you're in that position is start tracking your numbers. How many dials am I making a day? How many people are picking up? How many people hung up on me? How many people did I present to? And how many did I close? Obviously, if you haven't sold one, you haven't closed anything. But so this way, your upline and myself can start, diagnosing what's going on. From what I see, it sounds like the first 10 seconds of the call is where a lot of us are getting beat up. Right? It sounds like that's where things are going wrong. And it also sounds like a lot of people are letting a customer off to go get a quote and then they can't get them back. So what I want to do is highlight someone who's been doing really well with leads. Dave Coulter and I used to work together at Giglio and Ackerman. He came over, 2-3 weeks ago, Dave. Outside myself or Paige or Janine or Corey, I think you probably have the most lead sales, not referrals and stuff like that, but sales off leads. So Dave, if it's okay with you, I just want to kind of ask you some questions so everyone can hear it. That cool?
Go for it.
All right, I'm going to spotlight you. Apparently
That's for my temples.
I can't spotlight you in a breakout room. Great. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. All right, so, Dave, what times right now are you dialing in general?
8 to 10 in the morning, and then from 2 to 5 in the afternoon. And then if I don't have any appointments in the evening, 6 to 9.
Okay. Now, can you go over the first 10 seconds of your script with me? So call me, ring. Hello.
Let me pull up my script. I'll tell you which script I'm using.
Sorry, I
I
didn't
kind
know that.
of, no, it's okay. I customized my script a little bit just because I find this one works the best for me. So again, one of my suggestions for anybody in here, what script I use may not work for anybody in there. What script Mike uses may not work for anybody else.
Yep.
So
I just want to hear what you're doing, you know, like the tone of voice, your speed, stuff like that. So ring, ring, hello,
Mike,
hello?
Mike,
Yes,
Mike, it's Dave Coulter from the Benefits Office here in Warren County, just getting back to you about the New Jersey State life insurance programs you requested information on. You listed your date of birth as January 6, 1962. Is that correct?
yes,
Your address is 151 Fox Hill Drive. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay, great. Have you found what you're looking for? Or are you still looking?
I think I found what I'm looking for, but thank you.
No problem. That's exactly the reason why I'm calling. So your file's still open. I just want to make sure it gets closed or someone else will call you tomorrow, which is what I don't want to happen. So I'll make this quick and I'll be out of your hair quicker than your favorite shampoo.
I
Now,
like it. Now cut it there. That's perfect. Do you notice he only gave me a chance for like one word answers. And then he kept going. Right? He's not pausing. He's not letting me like think, oh, this guy's trying to sell me insurance. Click. Right? He's very monotone. He sounds like he hates his freaking job. Right? He's just doing it because he has to. And to me, that says, okay, let me give this guy a chance. Right? He's not trying to sell me anything. But do you notice the cadence of it, the speed of it? You know, only asking for one word answers and moving along right away. You know, not making any jokes in the building, not building rapport, and he's going to do that later. So if you are struggling on the first 10 seconds, work on that. Now, Dave, I mean, you're still obviously getting hung up on, right?
of course I am. I'm getting people cursing me out.
What's your philosophy after you get cursed out or hung up on?
I call them back.
Okay. Is everyone else calling them back? Probably not. Or some of you are, right? It's uncomfortable. Here's one thing I will say about American Income that gave me a great quote. You know, this job is about being comfortable, being uncomfortable, right? We are going to do things that are uncomfortable for us, right? If someone curses you out, you don't probably want to call them back, right? But that's how you get sales, right? Oh, sorry, there was a misunderstanding. I think you hung up on me. I'm here. I need to close your file, right?
Or we got disconnected somehow.
Yep, exactly. Now, how are you transitioning into basically giving them a presentation and, you know, getting them pricing?
As soon as they are allowing me, you know, to speak further after that point, because typically when they say, you know, I found what I'm looking for, I already have life insurance, you know, you use that's the reason why I'm calling line, and just say, you know, when did you get that? Or who was it that spoke to you before this? And just little things like that. And if they, you know, they say, no, you know, I already have this taken care of, I'm not interested. I just need to close out your file. You know, I just want to make sure that you don't get called again. You know, maybe if I could save you some money per month on your existing coverage right now, would you be open to looking at some options? It's little things that you need to do to just get them to allow you to speak a little bit further. Once they give you that go ahead, one of the biggest things is ask them straight off the bat. Do you have a few minutes right now? I'll be quick. Because if they're not going to give you a few minutes and you start going into it thinking that they have 20 minutes on their hand and you get hung up on and they don't answer back, it's because you didn't even ask. So you got to make sure it's respectful to them, not just automatically assuming that they have the whole day ahead of them, because people do work, you know. So ask them that and then, you know, go from there.
Cool. Now, am I correct in assuming you are not hanging up and calling them back with quotes? You're doing it on the phone?
Absolutely. I'm doing now, if it's impossible to keep them on the phone, if I can't get a quote quick enough, I'm not going to keep them on for 30 minutes plus just to try and find something that's going to work. You know, in situations like that, you have to, you know, you got to do what you got to do and try and get them back on the phone again. But do not, that shouldn't be your first option. Do not say, all right, let me give you a call back. Let me run some quotes. Absolutely not. do you mind if I put you on a brief hold? And then do it that way. As soon as you give them an out, that's it. You've lost the game already.
Everyone knows that when you give someone an out, they're going to take it. Right. So that's why going back to what I think Caleb was saying like 2 weeks ago is the control portion of it. And I mean, I've listened to Dave close a number of people, and I can tell you he controls that phone call. No one else does but him. And he's using the right wording and stuff like that to make sure he's not giving anybody an out. Now, can you break down like the parts of your presentation? Like, I don't want you to give me a presentation, but like intro, financial questions, because I know you ask a lot of financial questions. Can you go like through that a little bit?
I utilize the client suitability form. So as soon as they give me an opening to continue, I tell them straight off the bat that this works very simply. My job's different from sales reps that you normally encounter. Pretty similar to the scripts that you guys have, if not the same thing. I'm on the medical side of things, so it probably makes sense if I knew a little bit about your situation. So depending on how you answer the questions, it'll give me a good idea of which carriers will decline you or which carriers might approve you. Once we pull up some options, we'll look to see which carrier is offering you the best rate. At that point, we'll submit an application to at least see if we can get you approved. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
And they say yes. Now, I automatically go into the client suitability form. Go through that. I find out how much they're spending every month and how much they have left over based on everything that they have coming in. I automatically go to the medical questions, ask what prescription medications are you taking? Do you have any other medical conditions that we need to know about? Any hospitalizations or surgeries in the last 5 years? Based on that, I'll either make a judgment myself, depending on their medical situation, to run quotes on the two carriers that I have, that I'm contracted with, or I'll run it through the genie. And I just tell them to give me a minute.
Yeah.
I've never had somebody hang up on me at that point.
Guys, raise your hand if you have the financial suitability form. Okay. If you don't get it, Dave actually made it fillable, so you can do it right on the computer. It's the reason I like it is because you're getting the client more invested in this process. When they start answering questions like how much is your phone bill, right? How much do you spend on groceries? How much do you spend on clothes? What's your cable bill, right? They start answering those questions. It gets them invested in the process. Right now, they're like, okay, now I got to see what happens. I just gave this person all this information. And, if they're not willing to do that, then they're probably not someone you want to waste time on the phone with. Right. And, I don't actually do this yet, but I heard Dave do it. And it was amazing how much trust he built with this client over the phone, not being able to see each other, that known each other for 4 minutes. And now they trust you. Right. They're telling you how much money they have in the bank. You get to know, and now Dave also knows their discretionary income, right? Here's what I take home. Here's all my bills. Here's what's left. What I love about what Dave does too is he takes it away from them, right? Okay, well, I want $500,000 of insurance. It's $200 a month. Well, ma'am, I don't think you have $200 a month in your budget. This is no good if you cannot pay for this every month, right? So let's find you something that fits you better. And it takes it away from the client. And now they want it even more. So yeah, and I mean, I guess Dave, what advice would you have? You're a manager. You've been in the business for a while. What advice do you have for someone who's struggling right now?
Activity. So let's say you guys don't. Let's say, just for example, you don't have money to buy leads. I didn't buy leads last night. Why? Because I'm actually working off the leads that I've had for the past 2 or 3 weeks, but I'm also working clients from AIL. So that's my biggest thing right now. I just set up a few appointments. What I did is I have all their applications from AIL saved, and I'm running quotes. And if I can get them the same or more for less per month, I'm reaching out to them. I haven't had one person turn me down yet.
There you go. And Dave, I mean, on the lead side, though, you have bought leads a bunch. Which ones are you having the most success with?
The beneficiary ones.
It's a pretty common
They're
thing.
They're $12. If they go on sale, don't hesitate. Put it on a credit card if you need to. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, Dave. Dave, I want to thank you for doing this. You know, I know you've only been here a couple weeks, but I think you're absolutely killing it. And I think you're a good role model for everybody. Guys, if you see Dave in a presentation, like in a presentation room, I really advise you to hop in and listen to what he's doing. Dave, are you okay with that?
Absolutely fine with that.
Because like I said, I think where a lot of people are struggling is that first 10 seconds of the phone call. And I think Dave does it extremely well, and I definitely listen to him. You know, just the monotone voice, the not giving them a chance to say no, just a simple, this was your birthday, yes, yes, blah, 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 and going on from there, I think is super, super effective. So Dave, thank you very much. Appreciate you giving some advice. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I'll just leave you with this. You know, I'm loving what I'm seeing. I'm loving seeing people make money. I know not everybody yet has gotten there. If you haven't, we got to figure out why, right? Because you're here, you've sold insurance, and you know, I'm selling so much more insurance than I ever did. And you know, I want to help you figure out why. So, like I said, don't be shy, unmute yourself. Don't like no one's going to embarrass you. We're there, it's there to help you. Right? I can't solve a problem I don't know exists. Right? We need to be able to diagnose it. So
Leverage the holidays as much as possible. Like that's one of the biggest things. People say, oh, you know, I haven't even gotten Christmas gifts yet. Well, this is the best Christmas gift. You know, if you die before Christmas, you think your family's going to be happy with the gift that you got them when they have no money to pay for your funeral? That's no gift. And I just reached out, like I said, I've been reaching out to clients of mine, former clients of mine at AIL, and tell them, listen, the holidays are here. I can save you some money. Bam.
yeah, and the other thing, guys, that I used to use this at AAL a lot. What week has the most traffic accident deaths all year? This week right now. Right. So if someone wants to wait until at the end of the holidays, you can give them a harsh reality. Right. I always use, you know, driving up 95, you know, you've seen an accident where someone died. Yeah. Do you think that person thought today was going to be their last day of their life? No. You're going to be doing a lot of driving around the holidays, right? You live in Delaware, it's icy. Do you think that cannot be you? That's why we don't wait. So yeah, definitely leverage that. So right now, guys, I know Pedro wants to say a couple words, but I'll end with this. You know, everyone here should be making 2-3K a week, like I said. And if you're not, you know, I'm not mad at you, I'm not gonna throw you off the team. I want to help you. So let's figure out what's going on and why. You know, I think a lot of people are focusing on other things rather than producing activities. Remember what we said, that is dialing the phone and presenting. It's not looking at sales material on America.com. It's not, you know, looking stuff up on the internet. It's producing activity, meaning dialing the phone and presenting. You know, when you decide you're going to do it, that should be all you do, right? Find a way to buy leads. You know, go get some low-hanging fruit and take that money and just invest in leads. You know, it's like compound interest, if you guys know the term. Right? As you put money into something, it compounds and you make more and more and more. But it all starts at the bottom, right? It all starts with that first investment. So that should be your number one goal right now. I would buy leads twice a week, and just give yourself a chance. And like I said, use your upline, use me. Let's figure out what's going on. Yeah, I actually have an agent in the presentation, funny enough. Pedro, you want to say something?
Yeah, just my 2 cents for the day. I was thinking about this actually. I think it was Friday or Saturday, just driving around, and usually that's how I get my thoughts. You know, I want you to think why you joined the life insurance industry in the first place. You know, like what made you want to be a life insurance agent? And you know, you could say that, oh, it was money, or the you know, the money that I could make, or it was residuals, or it was this, or it was that, whatever it is that you signed in for. I think a majority of the people that want to be a life insurance agent is because they want to be able to control kind of what they do, right? Like, I think a lot of you like working from home. I think a lot of you like the fact that, you know, you can spend more time with your family, right? I think that you love the fact that you don't have to put in a request for a day off. You know what I mean? If you want to go on vacation or if you want to see something. I think, you know, it's because a lot of you want to be able to do it, right? Have that freedom to live your life, not be controlled by an employer, okay? And be able to still be successful and pretty much run a business, because all of you are 1099. If you haven't noticed this, okay, you're not going to get a W-2, I guarantee you, okay? By you having a 1099 and you wanting the things that you want out of this profession and out of this career that you chose that you want to do, I'm on the same boat. Like, I love the fact that tomorrow is a Tuesday, and because my fiance's dad side of the family is getting together tomorrow, I don't have to sit here and request for a day off or do anything, right? Because in the middle of a Tuesday. Okay. I enjoy the fact that when I take a vacation, I don't have to ask for permission to take a vacation. I enjoy the fact that, you know, I would sometimes, if I want to do things or sleep in or not be a part of something, I enjoy that. And I think that's what we all enjoy. The problem is we always look at the things that we want to enjoy out of it, but we don't realize the reason, what we have to do to be able to enjoy those things, because at the end of the day, you're not going to get paid unless you're dialing. You're not going to get paid unless you're talking to people. You're not going to get paid unless you're doing those things, right? So you still got to be able to find the time out of the free time that you want to have to make money. Because if not, it's like Mike said, Walmart has a schedule and you know, and a W-2 and a 401k probably match, you know, like all these places that are going to, yeah, maybe give you a steady $400, $500, $600, $700, I don't know, $1,000 paycheck, right? But I don't think that's the life you want to live. That's why you're here, right? Because you want to have the independence, because you want to be able to grow and do the things that you want to do and not respond to anybody and have that independence. But I think a lot of times we take that for granted too much, and we don't actually get the work done that we need to do, and then sit around wondering why it hasn't happened, right? Like, nobody's going to force you to dial at 8 a.m. Nobody is. But if you're not dialing at 8 a.m., then what are you doing, right? Well, I'm broke. Well, were you dialing at 8 a.m.? No, well, Pedro, here's what happened to me this morning, right? And blah, 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 blah. And every excuse in the world comes this morning, all of a sudden it's 10 o'clock. Well, Pedro, I dialed from 10 and 1. I dialed 3 hours. I got 2 people to answer. Well, great job. You dialed in the worst part of the day. And then 5 o'clock comes around, which is the next part of the day for you to dial. Great for you to dial. All of a sudden you're cooking dinner or doing a million other things. And then all of a sudden the day goes by and you barely had any dials in. You enjoyed your independence. You did the things that you wanted to do. You got to pick up the child from school and take, you know, and everything like that. But you didn't get to actually work and make the money that you wanted to make being independent, running your business. Running your business is not easy, right? People believe that it's just easy, that I'm going to come in and just run it and every day it's going to grow and things are like going to happen. It's not. And if you don't invest in it, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen if you don't invest in it. However you invest it, it's time or money. You guys know this. You invest time or money. You're broke. Well, then you know what? If you want to buy a ton of bad leads and dial 300 times in a day, go ahead. You have time. Just like recruiting. Remember recruiting, AIL? You either have time or money, right? You either go out and personally recruit because you're broke, or you have money, so you pay a third party to do it for you. It's the same thing as an agent. You got either time or money. If you invest more money into it, you're going to work less and make more because you're going to get a higher response. Why do you think people pay $100 for a life transfer? Right? Because they know that, okay, I might not even close this one, right? But I know if I buy 4 of these life transfers of $100 each, I'm going to close 1 out of 4. And I guarantee you, I'm going to make more than the 400 that I spent.
Yeah. And can I jump on with that? Can I jump on with that? Like, so let's say, like, you got kids and you can't dial from 8 to 10. You got to get them to school, blah, blah, blah. Or let's just say you are not a morning person. You are unable to be up at 8 o'clock, which we're all adults. I find that hard to believe. But let's say you can't. Okay, here's the option. You want to call from 10 to 1? Go out and buy mountain time leads.
Absolutely.
Because it's 8 o'clock there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can do that. Like, that's an option, right? But if you're wasting that 8 to 10, if you want to be really crazy and you can wake up at 8, call your Eastern times from 8 to 10 or from 8 to 9. Call your Centrals from 9 to 10. Call your Mountains from 10 to 11. Call your Pacifics from 11 to 12. That's something we can do here, right? But saying I can't dial from 8 to 10 shouldn't be an excuse why you can't dial from 8 to 10, because you can, if that makes sense. But Pedro, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. I mean, it's every single, you know, the whole country is there. The whole country is available. And here's the other misconception, and you hear that all the time too. Well, I had a lead or I had somebody that I could sell, but I'm not licensed in the state of, Oklahoma. Well, that's like, again, I can understand that because I don't care if you spend $100 for a license in that state, I'm guaranteed the sale that you're making is going to be a lot more than $100 that you're spending anyways. And then you have that license for a long time. The concept, the mentality, a lot of times that I think that we have is that, and because we came from that, is just the wanting, but not being able to actually put into it. And I think that's unless we change that mindset, the same way with the communication and the phone call. I was the same way. Hey, Jesse, this is Pedro calling the child safe kit, blah, blah, blah. How are you? Right? All excited and stuff like that, because that's what we had to do. And that's what we're used to doing. And it's really hard for me to make a phone call right now and not have the same attitude, because that's how I've always been. Sometimes I catch myself in a call, I'm like, oh, shoot. Yes, sir. So by the way, you know what I mean? I try to get like more boring and annoying and things like that, because I catch myself making a mistake, because that's what I'm used to. Guys, I want you to think about this. If you're used to AIL for a year, raise your hand. If you're AIL for 1 year and you're used to everything they did. Okay. 2 years. 3 years. Okay. 7 years. Exactly. I've learned a lot, and I'm going through all these changes too. I am a creature of habit. For 7 years, I did the same exact thing. I'm sitting over here, spending hours and hours and hours looking at this Mutual of Omaha IUL stuff, so I can learn, so I can be able to get better and things like that. But it's creating the activity, because I know right now I had a little bit of time, because it's bad time to call. Right? Managers meeting at 12:30. This meeting is at 2:30. I had time in the middle, bad time to call, so I can learn a little bit something. Controlling your destiny, controlling your future, learning and understanding the things that you can do for the client in the future. We all want independence. We want to be our own bosses. We want to be able to do those things, but we are not willing to. We want work-life balance, but a lot of times we're not really willing to balance them the way that needs to be done. That's all. That's my message. Remember, you control your destiny no matter what you do in this business. If this is what you want, you can be successful at it. Okay, I guarantee you. I've never been broke in the last 7 years. The only time I was broke is when I was in American Income Life or selling insurance in that way. Okay, so that's all.
One thing I'd like to add real quick is Mike got me set up with call tools. I know Pedro and Corey, Jesse, and I think George are set up with it as well. You have to spend money to make money. That's how successful business owners work. They don't just work without spending money and money falls into their hands. Doesn't happen. It's $100 a month, and it is going to be a lifesaver and a game changer for you. If you don't like calling or pressing dials on your phone, invest in that. It does it for you. All you have to do is wait for somebody to pick up, and you talk to them.
Yep. All good stuff, guys. So what I thought was going to be a short meeting actually went a little long, but that's good. We talked about a lot of good stuff. This is here to help you. Like I said, tonight, I would advise you to spend some time on that business overview meeting. Like I said, these people came from AIL. They know what we're going through. They can give you, like they said, they failed at first because they tried to do things AIL's way. And once they realize to throw it all out the window and do it FFL's way, now they're millionaires. You know, it'll be good for managers. You can talk to them about recruiting and stuff like that and how they do it. I know they do a lot. One last thing I'll say to you, social media. If you haven't made a sale yet or you need money, why aren't you on social media just letting people know what you're doing now? Say, hey, you know, I just, started working with this wonderful company. You know, I'm now able to help people in 47 states and get the best price for 22 carriers. I'm extremely excited. If you ever need my help, please send me a DM. Right? Because the woman Nina said something that was funny. When she came to FFL, she was doing good. She was building her business. She had like her childhood friend sign up for FFL. Not with her though. And then she was talking to her and she's like, well, why didn't you come with me? And she was like, well, I didn't even know you did that. I would have. Right? Guys, if you're embarrassed to be here to the point where you don't want to put it on social media, you shouldn't be here. Be proud of it. You know, I see
that is the truest thing, by the way. That is the truest thing in the world. If you are embarrassed in what you do, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah,
100%, Mike. You said that fantastically.
yeah.
Take
it's
pride
true.
in what you do. I told you guys plenty of times, until you get your first death call, until you get those, you don't believe what we do. Until you get that crying parent, until you get that crying spouse, until you get that person that just got diagnosed with cancer, you don't understand what it is. So, and if you don't believe it, you're absolutely correct, Mike.
Yeah, it's and like guys, I'm not guaranteed to sell, but at least someone's gonna see that, and oh, they go, okay, cool. Jesse does life insurance, and then when they're actually thinking about life insurance, they're gonna call Jesse, right? Because a friend of theirs. But if they don't know you did it, they're never gonna do it. They're never gonna think of you, right? And another thing is, I don't know about you, I'm very proud of what I do. Right? I am very proud to own this business, to be doing what I'm doing. You know, people are like, oh, salesmen are snakes. I go, I don't sell anything. I help people. Right. And I'm very proud. Like Pedro said, I will never forget my first death claim call. In fact, it was probably 5 years ago today, like right around this time, because it was one of my first sales. I started in April or May. It was one of my first 1 or 2 sales. And you know, it's right before Christmas. And I'm thinking this person's calling me to cancel because they need money for Christmas. I remember I almost didn't pick up the phone. And I picked up the phone, on the other line was a woman crying. And as she's crying, she tells me, thank you. And I go, what? She's like, I don't know if you remember me and Bob, I actually forget his name. He died in a car accident 2 nights ago. He goes, I don't know what I would have done if you didn't come here and explain to me what insurance was, because it was something we never thought about. So, and as she's crying, I start crying, and all she said was, thank you. When you get that moment, like Pedro said, then this business becomes very real. It stops being a job, and it starts being an interest. It starts being something you love to do. And if you're on my team, you've heard that story, but it's 100% real. And I can't tell you how many of those calls I got during COVID and stuff like that. So, yeah, guys, that's all I got. Congratulations on a good week. You know, I would really front load this week, put your activity Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday's probably going to be a travel day. I mean, you're definitely going to get people on the phone Friday, but more people are going to be traveling, getting prepared for Christmas. If you're Italian like me, you know, you got to get those 7 fishes ready the day before, you know, so Friday might be an iffy day. So I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are probably going to be our best days. So I would focus activity there. I know, so just so you know, I'm traveling Thursday, Friday, we're in Long Island. I will have my phone on, so I can help you guys, but I just won't be in the Zoom room. And yeah, guys, thank you. That's all I got. Hope you guys take something from that, all right? I'm going to leave the room so I can put this recording up on YouTube, but I'll be right back in.
Yep.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, y'all.